men with public accusation, uncovered slander, mediated rancor. Oh, God, that I were a man! I would eat his heart in the marketplace!
While reading Much Ado About Nothing, I also found myself wanting to eat Claudio's heart in the marketplace. It's not a secret that he wasn't the best guy, and that's exactly what I'm going to talk about. The relationship between Claudio and Hero displayed a lot of gender roles, mostly through the downfall of Hero's reputation and the way that Claudio is automatically seen as more trustworthy just because he is a man. There's a pattern that Shakespeare follows that supports the idea of a young woman being able to commit themselves wholeheartedly to a man, while the young man is unable to do so. There are two patterns he follows, but the one that is shown with Claudio and Hero is where the male will go through a period where he seems to be deeply in love, but then treats his love interest badly before coming back and seeming to have changed. Claudio seems to be immediately infatuated with Hero at the beginning of the play.
Mine eye, she's the sweetest lady that ever I looked on.
Then he also shows that he may have had an interest in Hero before, but didn't have the commitment yet.
When you went onward on this ended action, I looked upon her with a soldier's eye that liked, but had a rougher task in hand than to drive liking to the name of love. But now, I am returned, and that war thoughts have left their places vacant. In their rooms come thronging soft and delicate desires, all prompting me how fair young Hero is, saying, I liked her ere I went to wars.
He thought about Hero before he went to war, but he had other priorities that didn't allow him to think about her at the time, but now he is dedicating himself to her. He also had Don Pedro woo Hero for him at a masked ball as if he were having him test the waters with her first. All of this shows signs of Claudio's possible lack of commitment. Back to the pattern. It is without a doubt that Claudio treats Hero badly. He goes through the pattern of stepping back from her before returning to her twice. The first time is when Claudio easily believes Don John when he tells him that Don Pedro instead won Hero for himself.
Farewell, therefore, Hero.
Claudio is quick to turn back on his love for Hero, seeming to be threatened by the power a woman has and referring to Beauty as a witch. He now speaks of her in sexual overtones that are completely unlike the way he described her as modest and sweet before. He has now desexualized her in his mind. Claudio acts as if Hero has betrayed him when they have never even spoken about getting married or seeing each other, and then when he finds out that it was all a trick, he immediately flips back to being deeply in love with her again.
Lady, as you are mine, I am yours.
The next time this happens, it is much more destructive and almost ruins Hero's life. He believes that Hero has cheated on him, which frustrates both Don Pedro and Claudio for the possibility it has of shaming them both. So, they decide to shame her in front of everyone during their own wedding.
She's but the sign and semblance of her honor. Behold how like a maid she blushes here. Would you not swear, or you can see her, that she were a maid by these exterior shows? But she is none. She knows the heat of a luxurious bed.
Claudio claims that everything about Hero is a lie and that she has fooled them all. He thinks she is a fake, and this is all based on accusations. Everyone else believes this immediately, except for Beatrice and the friar. This shows the difference between how people are treating Hero and Claudio based on gender. They immediately believe Claudio's word without a doubt just because he's a man. This shows how people outside of a relationship can impose themselves onto said relationship and defect it. The friar comes up with the idea to fake Hero's death and say that she died of shame. Then they find out from the watchman that she has been wrongly accused, which causes Claudio to have a change of heart.
Sweet Hero.
He flips back to his original state of loving Hero and feels guilty for ever accusing her of anything. He seems to be very gullible because he easily falls for tricks and lies about her. He is a clear product of the Shakespeare pattern that shows a young man loving a woman, treating her badly, then bouncing back after insight. Everything ends happily after this because Claudio and Hero end up getting married, but I'm not sure it's that happy of an ending for Hero herself. I wonder how many times she'll have to deal with Claudio being so gullible for the rest of their marriage. He seems to be easily swayed and doesn't even talk to Hero about anything that happens before he takes action. It's obvious that their relationship is far from perfect. Hero is nothing but an object for Claudio, and he always has the upper hand because he is a man. These events were normal back then, but today they are not acceptable. I encourage you to look even further into the play and discover more details for yourself.